looks like Noda is going to be your winner of this Portuguese Grand Prix. Is your champion. JJ splits the middle, gets past both drivers. Going from the wonderful fun of Abu Dhabi last week, and now we are back here in Miami, Florida. Here, virtual Miami, Florida, but Miami, Florida nonetheless. A wonderful state of sunshine, a nice bright day. And as always, I have my great friend Syntex with me here for the newest track on the Formula One calendar, the Miami International Autodrome. 5.4 kilometers, lap record of a minute 31, 19 corners through in Syntax. This track, as we've learned, is not easy.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Yeah, it's not easy. We've been already here in previous season. If I'm thinking correctly, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, we've been there, we've done that, and it's amazingly difficult. There's possibility to crash in every single sector. Starting from the sector 1, very hard, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. Then very difficult second section, which we have a chicane. Then you can spun, you can break your wing. And of course we have sector 3 with the very difficult last corner. Also very easy to spun. And if I remember correctly, in the previous season we have a lot of contact between drivers in this specific corner.
Yeah, last season was very, very exciting. Of course, last season was the first time that Miami showed up, because Miami, of course, didn't come in until 2022. It's a track that was really... It's not a permanent circuit like a lot of our, name brand F1 circuits. It's meant to have a permanent feel, but really it's just temporary, and it's built around a stadium in Miami, which is really exciting for me because it gives a street circuit feel, but it's set in around Hard Rock Stadium. It's very, very unique in that regard, and it provides just a unique challenge. And there's little bits and elements of every track that you can find as you watch the drivers come through, and you go, this reminds me of this circuit. This reminds me of that circuit. There's a lot of a Albert Park feeling into the track that I find. It's very, very different than what we're used to.
I will say it's very similar to the Baku and somehow to the Hanoi in Vietnam. Maybe you remember this track, but these two tracks give me the vibe which we have in the Miami, to be honest.
Absolutely, and one of my favorite parts of it is the corners that we're going through right now. We are into the third sector, heading through. That was turn 16, and the 14-15 chicane through turn 16 goes underneath an interstate, goes underneath a major highway, which is very, very unique. And then, of course, as you come onto the main stretch, you have the Hard Rock Stadium in the background. It's hosted Super Bowls. It's hosted many a football game, and it's a very, very, very known spot. Florida, of course, is very rich in culture. It's very rich in pop culture. It's a very big tourist destination, and it makes this track a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun to really watch qualifying here. We've got a few times coming in Syntax. We'll talk about what's going on the screen here. We've got Kier that is at a 128.0. Franic's out, Mumamek's out, Juro's on an outlap, Gamer is on an outlap, and Spaghetti Mafia is currently going through that turn 16 interchange and going down the third DRS zone to put in a time. Syntax, when we look at last season our quali was a 128.0 by Cashty. Are we what are we thinking we're going to get? Because we're already at that 128.079 by Kier. It's not too far off.
Yeah, it's just the beginning of the qualification session. It's like 2 minutes maybe after the beginning, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah, but 1 minute 28.0, it's really impressive, especially that you said that Kashti made that time, that we both know that Kashti is a really fast driver, and that's make it more impressive for me. But yeah, I believe, I want to believe that Split 1 will show us that they also can improve by this whole season, the time on the Miami. But I have information from paddock. You know that I'm that activist that going with the microphone everywhere. But yeah, a lot of different drivers actually don't like Miami. It's a very difficult track, and mostly drivers don't like this track.
I'll tell you, a driver that really doesn't like the track right now is going to be Maku in the Haas, who is out on a set of intermediate tires in these bright, sunny conditions. I don't know if maybe that was just a garage error or if he knows something that we do not.
I know that trick, and it's all about to get the knowledge about the track. How's the car feeling? How's the setup is working? Because you have 18 minutes just to prepare yourself to make the best lap so far, yeah? So basically, all the drivers making a single lap on their intermediate compound just to prepare themselves for the best ones. So maybe that's why Marco decided to go for the intermediates. But anyway, Brad, I'm really, really happy because we have two drivers that I'm more similar than with the others from the Split 2. Maybe you will tell us which are they.
There's a lot of good drivers here, so I'm really thrown off by the intermediates for Maku because he's on a push lap now. Syntax, tell me what you're thinking here.
Maybe I will give you a tip. It's like dark blue color of the car.
Are we talking about the Red Bulls?
Oh yeah, we have Debe in Split 2. Like, come on.
Why is Debe in Split 2?
Because we don't have enough drivers for the Split 2. As you can see, last time I was driving with Bartosz, now Deba is driving with Bartosz. So yeah, we have to try to put some drivers, and I finally know that my pace isn't good enough for being in the Split 2, because last time I finished my race on the P9, so yeah, maybe it's all about the track, maybe it's all about the pace, I don't know, but the main problem is that we don't have a full grid in the Split 2, so somehow we have to manage to pull it in.
Yeah, and if you are interested in joining and you're watching the stream here and you're maybe watching the broadcast on YouTube whenever it's re-uploaded, if you are interested in joining, of course, check out the socials below. Discord, subscribe to the YouTube, give the Twitch a follow and a subscribe. We always do appreciate it. It goes to helping the league, and we'd love to have more drivers out on track, and we would love to see more people through. So, yeah, come join us. Come see what FRL is about. It's always a lot of fun. You always have me and Syntax here every weekend, and you always have something happening. And if you're Debe, who is going into that turn 14, 15 chicane, you might have a wall that you spin into. But Debe and the Red Bull getting back out underway there, getting out of the way of the Mercedes. I believe that is Kier that just went past him with no issues. And now we are just going to sit back and watch and wait to see how much more the drivers are going to bring the times down.
Now I'm comparing my point of view to yours, and I can see that on the P16 and P17 you have Insidious and Pink. Is that correct?
That is who I have, yes.
On my screen, P15 is Insidious, P16 is Radosław Kepa, and P17 is Pins. So I'm not sure what's going on here.
I've got Radosław Kepa in P4 with a 128.659 currently.
I thought Radosław was the first driver that actually finished the hot lap.
I thought so. And now Radosław Kepa just puts in a fastest lap just to make sure we're paying attention. Hello, amazing Aston Martin.
Radosław in this season is on fire. Literally, he's standing on the podium every single weekend. He have amazing pace, amazing quali pace, amazing racing pace, and I have no words how good he become in this season. He's like rising star.
Absolutely. Radosław Kepa did end up finishing P10 last week, but all things considered, still at the head of the Drivers' Championship. Aston Martin is still ahead of the Constructors' Championship here in Split 2. So a lot still there, and it's, I mean, a dominating force going into the back half of the season. The first half of the season has been great for Radosław Kepa and Bahrain, and I think the back half of the season for them is just going to be all about maintaining, just holding on to things, staying up there in the top steps of the podium, no silly mistakes, no racer quali bans, and I think they're going to be in a great spot.
Muminek just spun in the ending of the sector 1, so he will probably get the next few steps to... Oh, and now Juro on the turn 1 crashed and lose his wheel, so that's all for qualification session about for Juro. And we still have time to finish. I don't know how much because I have information about yellow flag, so we have to wait a moment. But still, Insidious and Pink don't have a time. Insidious is still sitting in the pit lane. I'm not sure, maybe Insidious have some penalty that he will be starting from the end of the grid. Now Baran I got information that he retired, so I don't know, he crashed or he decided to retire, but yeah, I will ask you my favorite question. You know which one is it, right, Bradley?
You're gonna ask me who is gonna be where in my predictions for the results.
Of course. So I'm not asking, I'm just waiting for the answer.
Well, we've got some good drivers here, and I am going to go ahead and say, let's mix things up a bit. Spaghetti Mafia P1, Radosław Kepa P2, Debe P3. Mix things up a little bit here.
You want to add some spice, I see. Okay, I get it.
Absolutely.
Nah, I really like Debe, but there's no chance, to be honest, because Debe, I think... Debe said to me in past few days that he weren't driving on this track yet. I mean, like the racing. So this one will be probably his first race on Miami, and he never touched the track at all. So this might be a really difficult, to be honest. And I would say more something like maybe Franek, maybe Myros on the podium. But yeah, Radosław Kepa and KR right now looking absolutely disgusting about their pace, I would say, because this is unbelievable how you can in Split 2 have such a good pace that you can compare to the Kashti. Like, I know that I cannot do that, of course, but if we're saying that in last time when we had a race in Miami and you said that was Kashti, can you said once again the time of the... What? Maku?
Hello. Where? Maku, slow down. Save some pace for the rest of us. Where did that come from?
He destroyed my whole sentence that I was trying to build like past 2 minutes. Okay, so never mind.
So, Syntax, we've got just a few minutes left here in qualifying. To give you an idea, our Split 2 quali time last season was a 1:28.005. Our Split 1 quali time last season was a 1:27.594 by Noda. So we have already knocked out that split 2 qualifying time.
Yes.
And that was a big wreck between Spaghetti Mafia and Kushor. Oh!
Yikes.
I don't know what happened there, but both of those cars are out. That was a big one. What just happened?
I would say that Spaghetti Mafia isn't the safest driver on the track, and we've seen him in many situations, very dangerous situations between him and many other drivers. But it's so sad that we've seen situations like this even on the qualification session, right? I'm not sure that probably right now I don't know who that was. Probably Muminek just blocked the hot lap for the Radosław Kepa. So Radosław still should try one more time to get the best possible time that he can. And I believe Radosław Kepa is going to the pit lane. Still 2.5 minutes until the end of the qualification session. So maybe he's preparing for the next bar of fresh softs, and then maybe push everything that you have. Radek is the shorter name than Radosław in Polish.
I love learning the abbreviations in Polish and the pronunciations in Polish because as an American, it's really interesting to learn. 2 minutes left here in qualifying here. Kier is currently on an outlap, really trying to build up some heat in those tires going through. Debe now retiring out of the session. I don't believe that was an on-track retirement. I think that was just in the pit lane. Marios is on a push lap here coming around the final corner. 1:50 to go. So I believe these will be some of the final laps starting through. Marios not improving at all. And now going around, Frantic is coming through the first sector here on a push lap. So 17 drivers, and 5 of them have not survived the 18-minute qualifying session. I have a strong feeling that we're going to have a lot of dead time in the race, Syntax.
You mean maybe some safety cars? Mm-hmm. So better prepare some elevator music, when you're coming to the elevator and there's such a music. So because I don't think I have a huge amount of information just to talk about between the safety cars. But yeah, look, like we still have 1 minute until the end of the qualification, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers are already out. So I can fully agree with that, what you say. And maybe some predictions when the first safety car will come out. First lap, second lap, first corner, maybe.
I think we'll get through turn 1. Turn 2 is going to be the question. Let's see.
Yeah.
30 seconds, Syntax. 30 seconds. Frantic is currently on a push lap here, coming through the final couple of corners, and
also.
Frantic is going to come through. And what time are we going to see? A 1:28.4. Good enough for P7. Kayer is coming through. And I believe purple middle sector coming in from the Mercedes driver in that silver arrow. Of course, car launches have all now happened. Mercedes is going to be back in black this season. And I cannot wait.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see if maybe we get a special black livery here in the F122 games. Would be really nice. Kayer's coming through. Final sector. Is this going to be an improvement for the Silver Arrow? Comes across the line. 1:28.0. Slightly down off of his best time.
But even though it is a really impressive time, and the time difference between the first and maybe not first, maybe the second and third place, it's like slightly small, I would say. I have no words because this is so close. This is so close. Maku showed himself that he is really hungry for the podium and for the winning again. So maybe let's prepare for some great actions on the track. And I heard that joke about the F1 game that Cody's already tried to give best of themselves, and they get a higher salary because they already added a new layout for the cars for the next season. Like, of course, they not changing anything, so they don't have to do anything.
It wouldn't surprise me, honestly, but I wouldn't complain at the same time because it seems like every time we learn a new game, we find new bugs. Radislav Kepa comes across 127.89, just barely misses out. Maku spun there in the 14-15 chicane underneath the interchange and unfortunately wasn't able to improve his time. Qualifying's now over, Syntex. The top two are scary fast.
Yeah. I would say it's like more even split one pace. Would you agree with me?
I would, absolutely, because I know some of our split one drivers are going to be putting in 128s and mid 128s, and to see 127.8s here in split two, it just shows the skill level that we have in both splits, because that is scary fast. Of course, the top drivers from split two do advance into split one for the next season, so it seems appropriate that our points leader and some of his main rivals are putting in such competitive times, because it really sets us up for a strong dash for the last half of the season.
So, we're now preparing for the race, and we'll be right back in a moment.
Alright, so we're now loading back in, getting ready for things to go back underway here. Little bit of technical issues, still working on everyone getting set up, and it is a fun time here in FRL, and this is one of those things that it's the nature of online gaming. Sometimes things come up. We have had to cancel races before in FRL. I had wet weather on my screen. Apparently there wasn't wet weather on other people's screens. These things happen. We've got about 60 seconds to race time now as we're still waiting on drivers to load in, and as we go through, this is such a fun race and a great time here. I do genuinely enjoy Miami. I enjoy Miami and I enjoy the F1 games. Don't let this come off negative anyway. It's just the nature of online racing. Whenever you have, people from halfway across the world mixed in, it just, things happen. Anyways.
In this discussion, okay?
Oh boy. 25 seconds to the race being back underway. Now we've got a nice, bright, sunny Miami here on screen. We're going to go ahead and bring it trackside as we prep up here. About 15 seconds till the race. And we already know we're going to have a little bit of lap 1 chaos. And I'm excited for it. 5 seconds till we grid up.
Pretty okay, to be honest.
It wasn't bad. Yeah. I just don't know if some of those were bots or humans driving.
Thank you, Grex. But right now we have 5 red lights, and I hope and the lights out, and away we go. I hope for everyone. As we have previously, just look right now. Valix just lose 2 positions, Franek, and we have a chaos on T1. Oh my god! Maybe 5 cars were hit. Someone didn't brake enough, and that's the effect of that.
That was a Williams just not using the brake pedal into T1. I believe it was Topolve, but I'm not sure. And now we've got a McLaren in the background spinning. Oh, there is carnage all the way around.
What is happening here? It looks like totally random lobby on the ranked session in F1 2021. And I'm not sure what is going on here, but just look how the first 5 drivers took advantage of that, and they are close to each other, so fight for the podium might be... Oh my... What is going on here?
Oh!
Come on, guys, it's all about being respectful on the track and just give the space for another car. You are not the most important driver and most important car on the track. Just respect yourselves and your opponents, giving them enough space for making a turn, and then it will look totally different. Right now I believe we will have like 10 cars maybe in the pit lane, I will say.
Absolutely. We're coming through here, and here comes the pit lane traffic. We've got Bartosz in, Topolve in, Velix in, Debe in. So 4 cars into the pit lane here off of the jump, all having to pit due to front wing damage right off the bat. That was a that was an interesting lap one, to say the least. I don't know exactly what happened with all of it, but Velix has lost out big time with 12 places, and it looks like it all started there just from turn one. A Williams, I think it was Topolve, just not getting on the brakes, and then it was all downhill from there.
Two houses fight each self right now. Maku just did overtake Spaghetti Mafia, but Spaghetti Mafia is really close to Maku. I believe that there would anything happen very bad for them, because right now we have Haas on T1 and P1 and P2. Right now Spaghetti Mafia just went a little bit too outside and he spun on the curb, so Radosław Kepa, Kayer and Myers took advantage of that, and we've seen in the far, oh my god, and he right now just loses a wing, so he lost a lot in that spin. But anyway, we're coming back to the racing. Radosław Kepa on the P2, Kayer on the P3, Myers P4 and Baran on the P5. So Baran is 7-8 seconds behind the top 4, but do we have a safety car or is virtual safety car? Spaghetti Mafia just crashed himself, and I don't know it's like for the purpose, but it looks like right now I don't it's VSC I see on the screens next to the track, but it is so chaotic right now, Brad, and I believe we didn't see such a messy race in a long time in FRL history.
It's been a very, very long time since pure carnage has broke out from the beginning of the race, and things I think are going to settle through a little bit. Frantic picks up a drive-through for speeding under VSC. I don't understand how Spaghetti Mafia DNF'd out. Now we've got Insidious, who is spun out there in turn 2, who is back underway now. So drivers are having a difficult time here, but the top 4 settling down. Maku, Radosław Kepa, Kier, Marios. Baran is up 3 places to P5. Pink is up 10 places to P6. Very, very impressive from the Silver Arrow. And then Gamer, Jiro, Mumamek, all drivers up places. And then our big loser, Spaghetti Mafia, DNFing out. Velix, who is down 9 places. Debe, who is down 6. So lots of drivers already losing out. We've already had 6 drivers have to make a pit stop so far, which is crazy.
Huge. Yeah,
absolutely crazy.
Franek and Gamer just had now a contact and both of them spun. Right now Insidious just get overtaken by Kushor. I believe Insidious don't have a wing because he just cut the corners, and he already have a 5 seconds time penalty. It's like totally different driver that we've seen yesterday on the that we've seen on the ACC 8 hours endurance race, when he done amazingly well. But right now, the only words that comes to my mind is like, what is going on out there? It's like 3rd lap, and I have a feeling like we're already driving for the 20 minutes, and it's pure chaotic.
Absolutely. We're starting lap 4, and we've got 26 laps to go. 25 laps to go here. Insidious has now left the session. I believe that is a pit lane retirement calling the race here. And as we go through, things have settled down. Everybody's spreading out. Kier and Radosław Kepa, P2, P3 at the moment, very close together. And there's a pass going through a brave section of the track. So that is going to put Radosław Kepa into P2 now. Kier into P3, trying to chase him down. Martios is now 0.7 of a second back. DRS is, of course, now enabled. We're on lap 4 here. You can see Radosław Kepa is going to go to the inside here, try to break the slipstream, try to defend the inside line a little bit, going here into the left-hander of turn 17. Switch back here, trying to defend everything. There's side-by-side coming down the final corners into the main straight. Radosław Kepa a little bit faster off the line here, and Radosław Kepa will hold on to it for the moment, but Kier's side-by-side here going into turn 1, and he's going to try to go the long way around, the switches to the inside, and now we're back through the chicane, leaving plenty of racing room, it looks like, and Radosław Kepa, I believe, backs out of that just enough that Kier can move forward and go back into P2, and now they're just going to hold on for a moment, and unfortunately, those two battling for half a lap has introduced Marios in the Williams back into the competition here for P2. This is a 3-car battle for P2. And now you've got the battle for P8 and P9 developing. Or P9 and P10, never mind. That is Franick into the pits. I see a driver jumping around, and I thought he was getting battled with. But that's just Franick going into the pits here very early on.
To be honest, when we've seen that fight between Radosław and Keir, I have literally goosebumps on my arms because that's how it should looks like. It was perfectly clean, respecting each other, and it was like the pure sportsmanship that we have on the screen. So big applause for these two drivers, because this is why I want to commentate, what I want to watch F1, esport and sport, and I would say this is all about. And big congrats for these two, because that fight was really, really beautiful. Even though I just said previously that this track is difficult, and we've seen that already. I would say how many times, like endlessly, because on every single lap, on every single corner, some of the drivers just spawn, lose their front wing. I only know about the front wing. Maybe they trash any other part, like the side pods or maybe the back spoiler. But even though this track is extremely difficult, and you have to be prepared for that, really, really good, I would say. And you have to concentrate like the all 29 laps, because if you wouldn't do that, probably even turn 1 and turn 2 can take you down so easily.
Absolutely, and we're seeing with Pink here, even Pink, who is in P6, having some major issues just trying to get back going. Spinning in the first corner and then spinning out through the end of the first sector, going towards the middle sector. And it just goes to show that, I would argue, technicality-wise, skill-wise, this is probably the hardest track that we have on the calendar. Which, then again, we do have Jeddah next week, which might prove to be a little bit more difficult for these drivers. But this is a very technically challenging track. It's a different style of track to drive, and it's either you have it or you don't. And unfortunately, it looks like for a lot of these drivers, it's proving difficult. A lot of these drivers are probably hoping for a safety car right now to mix things up, because even our front drivers are all separated by over a second now. So we have nobody on track right now within a second of the car in front or behind.
Meyer just getting closer to the Radosław is the closest situation on the track, I would say. 0.7 seconds. So yeah, I believe this is the only possibility right now to see the fight. But now I don't know what's happened. I believe Pink decided to retire in the pit lane. Oh boy, it's already 7th lap and we lost 3 drivers. I'm not sure that the nerves takes advantage of that situation and driver just decided, like, F it, I'm gonna retire because I don't want to drive on this track. Now Bartosz and Pink, I don't know what happened.
I believe Bartosz spun out of the final corner, it looks like, as we're on board with Mumamek driving by, and he did DNF there. So we are now under our first safety car. We've got 13 drivers left of the 17 that it started. Whew.
I have no words.
It's been an eventful first few laps.
Yeah. It was a little carnage, but that's all.
Absolutely. Syntax, I do want to touch on some things that have happened here over the past couple days here in FRL. Of course, last week was Abu Dhabi. That took us into the back half of our F1 season, but also kicking off this year is the FRL Endurance Series. So,
oh yeah,
FRL ran an 8-hour of Barcelona race, which I am still tired from. Ran 2 teams. Of course, so we were slated to run 3 teams, ended up running 2 teams, 2 3-driver teams. Team A, Gris, Debe, and Sidious. Both teams running McLaren because we're all McLaren fangirls in the end. And out of 35 drivers, Team A finished P26 with a quali of P27. Team B was myself, Mallard, and Graxon. Mallard, of course, a newer driver. He showed up just to participate in the ACC series. Not a driver that you've seen in F1, but was a good friend of mine, and he participated in with us there for that series in the McLaren 720. Ended up finishing P31 of 35 after no quali, and big hats off to all of those drivers participating in our ACC Endurance Series. 8 hours at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Very difficult track, and did very well to come out and finish the race. I will tell you, finishing the race alone was difficult, especially when looking at the times. The top team put in a 144.1 and finished with nearly, a 2-lap gap on the car in P2. The only driver that finished on the lead lap was first place. So it was a very difficult long race, and I do want to commend, of course, Graxent, Mallard, Debe, Insidious, and Gris. Of course, that was streamed here on the FRL Twitch as well. If you're interested in checking out some of the highlights and seeing some of the things that happened with that, you can always check out our clips and see some of the clips that were made from yesterday. Or the full race is, of course, up on YouTube as well. Or if it's not, it should be very soon. And you can go check out the full 8-hour race on YouTube as well and see how that went, because it was streamed from Team B's view here on the FRL Twitch. And it was a lot of work. It was a lot of fun. Definitely hoping to do more of that here in FRL, and we'll see when things come up with that. But going back to the action on track, we've got Maku on soft tires coming out of the pit, Syntax.
Yeah, I just saw that, and this is quite impressive, to be honest. I'm not sure that what is exact strategy for Maku in his head. But I also want to set another dad joke. Do you know how we said in couloirs, how we call the Barcelona-Catalunya track? In F1 game, of course, the Spain, because that's how the track is for us. It's pure pain, because on every single corner, on every single apex, you can fall out and destroy your car. And for the 3 races that I participate in, I probably crashed myself 2 times. So yeah, I'm really happy about that we don't have to do that anymore. But yeah, I'm really glad about you guys yesterday. You've done a really good job, and all of the FRL community is really proud of all of you guys. And I believe we will see you, or maybe any other drivers, on next upcoming endurance races, because I believe there will be another one. And of course, it was so nice to see you behind the wheel.
Yeah, it was weird being the commentator and being behind the wheel. I ended up driving about, 2.5 hours of the 8 hours. Me, Graxent, and Mallard all split our time very evenly. We went into the race with 2 goals. We didn't want to crash the car, and we didn't want to crash someone else, and we didn't want to finish in last place. And we ended up not finishing in last place, not crashing someone else intentionally. There were a couple of sketchy moments that were of concern, but nothing that was directly our fault for doing something wrong. And the car came home in one piece. So it was a fairly good, successful time. Maku's back into the pits, which is very weird. I'm not sure what the hash strategy is here, but we're gonna roll with it, because I think this is gonna be our last lap under safety car.
Here, guys, is an example how to not win the race and how to mess up your own strategy. So this is how it looks like. Because Maku right now is on the P12, where he was on the P1. So this is a very good situation for the Myros, Baran, Radosław Kepa, and Kair, because we've seen they have the pace to fight for the podium. But Maku, I have no idea what was in his head just to decide to go for 1 lap on the soft compound and then coming back for the hards. I'm not. Maybe he told like, okay, so I will not use the hard compound. Maybe I will give them the rest, and then I will come back on the hards and I will finish on them. I'm not sure. It's just all my idea, but there's nothing else coming to my head. Even though things messed up on the beginning of this race. We have currently now 10 lap of 29. And yeah, probably, as you said, this might be the last lap under the safety car. And I want to believe that situation on the track, on the grid, with the drivers will really calm down a lot, not even a little bit, but a lot, because I think you will agree with me that with what I will say, that we don't want to see anything like this, because it's like destroying the beautiful motorsport that we're commentating, we're watching and we're playing, and this is not all about to crushing yourself and pushing yourself to the, I don't know, walls, etc. But we just want to see the pure sportsmanship. But right now we're coming back for the restart. Kair is leading right now, safety car in the pit lane, so we're going back to the racing right now. Kair, Radosław and Myros have a bit advantage right now. Kushor took advantage of that because Baran disconnected from the server, so Kushor jumped to the P4 right now, and Myros is coming closer to the Radosław Kepa. We've seen that Radosław Kepa is struggling a little bit in the sector one. Maybe he's deciding to get off a little bit of the throttle and then going it more calmly. Maybe that's the idea of Radosław, but right now he's losing already over 1 second. Right now he's coming a little bit closer. It's a little bit messy, but right now Andrzej took advantage and a beautiful overtake on Baran. Of course, as I said previously, Baran is disconnected from the server, so probably Baran from the P4 will find himself at the end of the grid. So that must be heartbreaking. Yeah, right now Baran is on the P13, even Debe overtaked him, and we are currently seeing that Debe is struggling a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very unusual to see Debe so far back. I do think this is just one of those difficult tracks that maybe just doesn't suit his driving style, which everyone has those tracks. For me, it's Spain. For some drivers, it's Miami, which does make sense, but everything through is looking fairly good. Everyone seems to be very, very calm, and I think really this is just going to be a calm, nice little 20-lap drive to the end, we can hope. It's about, 17 laps to go, actually, Syntax. Make sure I, get my numbers right here. And I think at this point, the drivers are just in an act of survival. Everyone just wants to make it to the end and score points, of course. That is the big goal.
I will disturb you, but all of us are waiting for the next season of Drive to Survive that came up to the Netflix on the 25th of February. But our drivers decided that we don't want to wait so long for it, and we've already have it so fast right now. So that's how it looked like.
Absolutely. It truly is an act of survival, and kudos to these drivers for doing it, because I could not.
Oh yeah. Myros just get closer to the Radosław Kepa once again. Half of the second behind him. And of course we don't still have a DRS section turned on, so we have to wait probably one more lap, and then we'll see some pure magic.
Yeah, I think when DRS comes on, we're going to see a little bit more competition through, especially from these front five that are running through. Baran now joining back into the session, and it's going to be very, very upset to see where Baran has landed. Of course, 3 DRS zones here on Miami. You have the DRS zone going down towards the interstate section. You have the second DRS zone down the back straight, and then the third DRS zone, which is on the main straight. So 3 very, very long DRS zones that can prove to be very powerful if the drivers utilize them effectively.
Muminek overtake Andrzej, so maybe some team orders. Right now I don't even saw that Mateusz came up from split 1 to our lobby. I don't know what they were doing here, but we'll see in a moment, Durmati, so you could wait a little more. But yeah, right now, as you said previously, the situation on the grid calmed down a little bit. Of course, we have some drivers that are possibly close to each other to maybe try to take some fight for the better position on the track. But right now, I would say the Myros and Velix are the closest. Of course, we have also Muminek that is in front of the Andrzej, very close to the Juro. Maybe right now we will see Muminek attacking Juro. He's going inside. He will be in front of him easily. Right now, Juro is on the P9. Valix Myros decide to go to the pit lane. I'm not sure why, because he's on the 12 all laps hard compound. I'm not sure about that, because we still have Kushor and Velix on the medium compounds, 11 and 12 laps on them, and it's pretty amazing. And to be honest, because we always saying about the strategy on the beginning of the race, but it was so messed up that we probably forget about this topic, and always drivers deciding to go for the hard to medium and medium too hard. But I believe it's the regulation of FIA that made it that you don't have to start on the compound that you already take part in the qualification session. Mess it up a little bit, because we didn't see that much soft compound on the race, right?
Not at all. We did see that one lap that Maku was on soft compound tires, which made no sense to me. And then he came back in the next lap and went on to a new set of tires. Of course, now we've got Velix chasing down Kushor. This is the battle for P3 here, and this is going to be team orders all day. Velix getting past Kushor there. And yeah, as far as tire strategy, it was one stop hard to mediums or medium to hards, but the hard tires should be lasting significantly longer than they are.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we've seen that already. Meds are start losing a little bit comparing to the hards, because look how much Velix lose time behind the Radosław Kepa. It's over 2 seconds right now. He's getting closer, but it's not that much.
Absolutely, this race is a very, very odd outlier for the season, and it's part of it too is the track is so new. There's not a lot of data. There's not a lot that you can go off of to really learn and see what is happening. So a lot of this is just learning as you go, which for F1 teams isn't their favorite thing to do, and for FRL drivers isn't their favorite thing to do. And as of right now, I will tell you something that is very learn as you go, and that's this battle between Maku, Juro, and Debe, and now Gamer, that is starting to heat up as we see this is the battle for P8, and this is probably our closest battle on track at the moment between any drivers. As we go through, things have settled down a lot, Syntax, than what they were. There's still a little bit of action here and there on the track, but this battle for P8, P7, P6 is really heating up. And then, of course, you have the two teammates, P3 and P4, that are just kind of cruising around at this point.
Oh, now Typowy just spun in front of the Muminek, and then that was a lot.
And then Debe spinning right along with him in the same corner. Is that... Syntax, you've driven this track. Is that a difficult corner?
Yes, it is. It's extremely difficult. A little bit too fast on the throttle, and you're going flying mode, really. Like, I would say if you're driving on the automatic gear, it's like giving yourself a gun fully loaded, and you can do it whatever you want, but you can do it on yourself. So that's how it looks like for me. But yeah, for me, the best option to drive it is like really, really slow on the throttle, on the fourth gear, and then hold really, really wide on the right side, going outside. Makes you more probably to hold the grip with your car, and this is the only possibility. As we seen before, Kayer just went there inside with the fight for the P1 and P2 with Radosław Kepa, and to be honest, I have no idea how Kayer keep his grip on that corner, going really on the inside part of this corner, and I'm still amazed how he done that.
Really, really impressive moves coming through, and now it's pit lane time for the Silver Arrow and for Radosław Kepa, who picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Kayer is going to come in and go onto a set of mediums. Radosław Kepa has the long run down the pit lane there in the Aston Martin, goes onto a set of mediums as well. That's going to open up the door for at least a lap for Maku to lead here. And then Mumamek, Gamer, Baran, Radosław Kepa. And then as we see drivers starting to come out of the pits here, it is Radosław Kepa comes out ahead of Kayer. So Radosław Kepa making up a little bit of time there in the pit stop. Very, very good job there from the Aston Martin pit crew to pull ahead of Mercedes. But of course, Radosław Kepa picking up that 5-second time penalty for his trouble. And now about half the grid, his pit and about half the grid is left out. And we'll see. I would imagine Maku is going to run very, very long on those hard tires. Baran may potentially try to run to the end with Maku if they stay out. And then, of course, we are going to have to see Debe pit, and Juro and Mumamek, I would imagine, are going to have to pit along with Gamer and potential. I don't know. The tire life is really weird here.
Yeah, it is. It is, and I will be honest, I don't remember how long the medium compound can last until the end of the race. It looks like 12 laps to go. Yeah, 12 laps, right?
Yep.
Is it possible to do that on the medium compound? Right now we've seen that the hard compound is start to lose a little bit comparing to the medium compound in the fresh pair of mediums. So Radosław Kepa already get back his position, and how much Juro already lose in front of Radosław. It's amazingly how fast Radosław is getting closer to the rest of the grid, of course, in front of him. But Baran on the 10 old lap hard compound, same for Andrzej, but on the medium. And I'm really curious what will be the final effect on this battle right now between Baran and Gamer. Gamer just went outside, looked like, okay, here we go, Baran, you can overtake me. Like, come on, Andrew, because I have in Polish, because you have the old nickname of Gamer. I've seen that Gamer is doing it many times. He's just passing by for the other drivers. Like, he really should try to fight for the position. Like, I'm not saying that he have to push out someone off the track, but just like even to try for holding his position, but not letting by someone's like he just done with the Baran. Maybe he told like, okay, I have medium compound, he's on the hards, maybe he have a better conditions of these tires, so I will let him by. I'm not sure about that, but even though we're still racing and Andrzej is still holding very close to the Baran, so yeah.
Absolutely. We're lap 19 of 29 now, Syntax. 10 laps to go. Things are very, very much heating up now that we've had pit stops. There's a battle between Juro and Velix for P7. Velix trying to dive it up the inside. Juro trying to hold on to the outside there. Of course, Juro on those 14-lap-old hards isn't going to have the grip to keep up there. So as we go through the S's section and now the swimming pool left-hander, and of course, that is where the fake boat bay is painted on the inside of the corner. So as we come through there, Juro just doesn't have the grip, has to let Velix go there, and now Kushor, of course, the other Alpine, is going to be coming into the mix here. And then Frantic behind in P10, so Juro's about to have just a world of problems coming at him very, very quickly there on those 14-lap-old hard compound tires. Looking up front, Maku and Mumamek, that battle is now half a second, so I think we're going to see the battle up front heat up here in just a couple of laps.
And safety car came
Okay.
out. But why?
I believe Debe spun in the interstate section under the chicane, or in the turns 14, 15, 16 chicane.
Yeah, but
he's missing his front wing.
Okay, but why we have a safety car when someone spins out and destroy his front wing? I don't understand it. It's like he can drive still, and I don't see a reason why we have a safety car on the track.
Oh, it's just the FIA want to give us a little bit of action, Syntax. Come on, we got to have a spicy finish to the end of the race.
Oh yeah, of course. Do you remember a magical moment for me, a really magical moment on the France Grand Prix when I lose my wheel and it already became a meme on the server? So when I broke my front wing and I lose my wheel, but somehow the wheel just came back magically. I don't know how. There wasn't a safety car on the track, but right now the best spun and we have a safety car. Like, come on, it's going to be ridiculous.
I'm gonna have to, between races, go and find that now because I had forgotten how funny that was. I'm gonna absolutely have to go find that. Of course, the meme is in the server, but I'm gonna have to go find that specific video because I know it's been posted somewhere.
Yeah, maybe someone on the chat could help us and make it a little bit quicker. But do you have that meme somewhere of the situation? Will be appreciated. Oh, Brad, another safety car on the track. Debe is struggling a lot on this Miami beautiful Grand Prix, and in front of him is another Miami Grand Prix in a few minutes, I will say, because I'm not sure how long this one will take. And right now Debe losing 13 seconds behind Myros.
It's crazy. We're under safety car, everything's coming back, but it's absolutely crazy to me just how much of a difference things are here as we go. I'm really wondering just how this race is going to end, and I'll be honest with you, Syntax, this isn't the only racing in Florida that's going on today. Do you know what other racing is going on in Florida today, Syntax?
I can only try to make a guess. Is like IndyCar or your favorite sport, NASCAR?
NASCAR. NASCAR is back this weekend. Of course, Daytona 500, known as the Great American Race, which for many people between the Rolex 24 and the Daytona 500 is synonymous with motorsport being back for the year. Of course, you and me have talked about all the FIA car launches have happened. We have the F1 testing session coming up next weekend. And then in 2 weeks' time, whenever we are lining up for COTA, I believe, Circuit of the Americas, we will be lining up at COTA, and the real 2023 F1 cars will be lining up at Bahrain to begin off the 2023 F1 season.
Finally. Yeah, but do you know, I want to say something. There's only one thing why I like the NASCAR. It's all about the animation cars from Pixar. That's why NASCAR is so nice, because of that. And of course, I'm joking that maybe someone likes NASCAR here. I don't. But safety car in this lap. So let's prepare for restart, because this is what we all like most.
Absolutely. There will be 8 laps to go at the line, and it's going to be a big battle here going through. Every driver's on the mediums to finish out this race. Of course, our front four are on old mediums, and now Kier has taken control of the field. We're back underway. The Alpines of Velix and Kushor, P2, P3, and they are going to be very, very hungry. Baran making his way past Mumamek very early on here. And we're setting up here to finish this race. Frantic in P5. P4 is Maku. Maku's going to look up the inside here, or thought about to look up the inside on Kushor. Wasn't close enough to make that stick. Kushor runs very, very wide. Gets spooked there. Maku's going to say, thank you very much. I will take this Haas F1 car around the outside of the bay. And he is going to move up into P3. And now the chase. Maku on brand new mediums. Kier, Velix, and Kushor on slightly used mediums. And Maku is going to set off to try to chase down the leaders with 8 laps to go here, and this should be fairly close. And now, Frantic getting bullied there by Baran. Baran up into P5. Frantic going wide there as well. Now we're into the chicane section for the first time. You can see the drivers all getting very, very close, jamming on the brakes there, trying to avoid each other, and doing fairly well at it. Everyone gets through, and of course, no DRS for 2 laps after safety car, so the drivers just get to sit in the slipstream, rely on some pace, and run the long way down this backstretch here towards the hardest corner in Formula One as it appears, which is going to be the turn 17, which is a hard left-hander through. We come around, you can see Kier coming through, Velix coming through with Maku 0.2 of a second behind. Kier puts in a fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and now Maku is going to set to chase down Velix here as we run around. Maku looking to dive up the inside. Very, very beautifully done. And now he's going to be back to the outside and inside again. That's going to set Velix slightly off the preferred line. Maku up into P2. But I don't think Velix is going to let him get away that easy as we watch here. Look at the grip difference, though. I mean, Maku is just sending it through the corners. Velix having to do slight lifts where Maku isn't.
It's all about how secure we feel with your car and how much you know your limits, I will say, on this track. That's why we could possibly have a really good grip as Maku did, and he done perfectly, really. That was a beautiful move from his side. But even though I just wanted to mention that I lost a moment when we had Radosław Kepa losing his P1. Right now he fight with Juro so close to the wall, but this fight is really, really good. Right now, oh, Myros just hit Radosław. Debe took advantage of that and he jumped into P11. Myros also get a 3-second time penalty with that cutting corners, and that was just unlucky. Even though Kair somehow managed to came back for the P1, I lost that moment on the track and I'm not sure when it happened. Franek, Baran slips and fall down 2 positions. Kair with the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 30.5, so he's still slower than me on the previous race when I was racing, because I believe I had a 1 minute 29 something. I don't remember correctly.
Syntax always has to remind you that he is the alpha F1 driver.
Of course. This is the only possibility that I can put myself ego a little bit higher, and finally I can say that I made that.
Oh boy, Syntax, 5 laps to go here. We're going through. Things are looking really, really strong. Of course, Syntax does hold our lap record here in Miami, and everybody is 6/10, 7/10 off, settling down. DRS has been enabled. Debe getting past Radislav Kepa here, going into the P10. And now Radislav is very close, trying to hold on, and Marios is trying to fight through. You would think these 3 drivers are fighting for P1, and they're fighting for P10, the last of the points-paying places.
Yeah, it's painful to see such a very good drivers fighting for P10, but it is what it is. It's F1. I would say even it's FRL. So you can expect unexpected, and this should be our slogan, I would say, for the next season. You can expect unexpected. Yeah, so this is the perfect way to describe our league. Right now, Maku with the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 30.5 also. So close to Kair, but I don't believe that Maku will be possibly finding the space until the end of the race, because K right now is on a flying mode, really, and it's impressive.
Absolutely, it's crazy to watch through. And Syntax, you mentioned the new slogan. Gris, graphics designer, sir, if you're listening, I do need a new thumbnail for streams for the stream intros. So if you want to come up with a nice little graphic that says expect the unexpected, that would be great. I would be more than happy to utilize it on every stream. Anyways, back to the on-track action here, Syntax. So, Frantic, look at this. P5, 0.2 of a second back here on Kushor. He's going to make a hard dive on the inside here. Go around, late break. Is he going to get both the Alpines in one? And that was a little...
Oh my god, but that was such a teamwork from Velix and Kushor. Oh my lord, how good that was, really. Of course, Franek was blocked, but Muminek right now, and it's a huge mess up. Tibovic just jumped into the P7 right now. Muminek is on the end of the grid. 2 Ferraris, P12, P13.
And that is a damage-stricken Ferrari, and now we are under safety car again, Syntax.
No. So if someone could please make a clip, if it's still possible, to send it to the Grisu with that graphic, will be appreciated. I would say this race is so funny.
That was some teamwork by the Alpines. I don't know. Yeah. That was some cheeky teamwork is what that was. That was wow.
Yeah, but we have to say that was a pretty nice move from Kushor, because he still holds his P3, or I'm not sure which one was in front of where, but one of them just blocked inside, going a little bit back of the throttle, makes that possible to give the Velix get closer to his teammate, and then Franek don't have a place to place himself on the track. It was outstanding move from them, like 200 IQ, really.
It looked like for a second that Frantic was going to just shoot right up the middle, and then I believe it was Kushor was on the inside, Velix was on the outside. I'm going to have to clip that later and find that later, because that was amazing. I'm going to have to go back and find that, because that was just beautiful. But that puts us under our third safety car this race, Syntax?
Yeah, because we have one virtual safety car.
So 3 safety cars, 1 VSC. We're going to wait on the grid to bunch up. We'll have like a 2-lap shootout to finish the race here. And I don't know who's going to come out on top here. Maku's showing some serious pace. Kier has slightly older medium tires, but that hasn't seemed to affect him. But the Alpines are working really well as a team, and that's, I mean, wow. Like, that was championship materials, what that was. Alpine have declared that they are in a battle here for the last half. I don't know if stewards are going to want to look at that later, but if they do, I'm just going to say I think it was kind of smart.
Yeah. Expect unexpected. Yeah, but they done a really good job, and we just have to admit that. Even though we've seen that half of the grid jumped into fresh pair of softs, and the rest decide to stay on the medium compound. So, and Juro just took 5-second time penalty for the collision, and
Maku!
He done a George Russell move. I believe he wanted to warm up his tires, and he finished on the wall.
Oh my gosh. Man.
I have no words for this race, really.
Expect the unexpected, Syntax. You said it.
I don't remember when we were laughing so badly on the race.
Oh my gosh.
I have to mute myself.
Oh my gosh. Well, Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FRL. If this is your first time being here, we're more than happy to have you. We hope you're enjoying everything you're seeing so far. Of course, we've had a lot of new activity in the Twitch chat here recently, and if you're new here, we genuinely appreciate it. Share with all your friends, join the Discord, subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe to the Twitch, and yeah, we're coming around here lap 27 of 29, and expect the unexpected. I mean,
No, I can't.
oh my gosh. Well, safety car is in this lap. We'll have a 2-lap shootout to the end of the race. Syntax is in tears, and I am my jaw on the floor. That is.
I'm sorry.
Oh boy. Well, the commentators are broken. Now taking applications for commentators.
We have arrested. So let's focus on that Kushor behind the KR 2/10 of a second. Right now, maybe we will see that he will decide to join into the battle for winning this race, but the pace that KR shows us today will be extremely difficult to catch up. Right now, Giroud and Debe loses 2 positions. What is going on? Andrzej just hit Debe.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Expect unexpected.
Anyways,
Ay.
as we go through here, now we're going through the last lap and some change here. Marios is in P5 chasing down Frantic, and as we go through, that gap is 1/10 of a second starting to open up a little bit. We'll try to save the broadcast here for the last couple of laps and not just let it fall apart. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FRL. 0.3 of a second the gap here as we go through the interstate section, as I call it. I'm sure there's an actual name. I don't know the corner names here at Miami. But as we go through, everything holding on here. Giro and Topove battling. That is a hard dive across the front of Radislav Kepa there that Topove just made and holds on to it. Now he's coming down the back stretch here. There won't be any DRS for the rest of the race. But we do have a drag race here between Baran, Mumamek, and Marios. Baran's blocking the inside, goes back to the outside, and now who is going to be braver on the brakes here? As we see, that is Mumamek that is very brave on the brakes. Marios brakes a little bit early and tries to let it through there. That is going to be Mumamek who gets the position there into P6, Baran in P5, and now it is a drag race through, around. Who is going to come out on top here? Marios does have a bit of a pace advantage. We're on to the final lap of the Grand Prix here. Who is going to come through? Marios, a little bit too hard on the curb through, and now he is going to drop all the way back into last place behind Radislav Kepa and Topove, still trying to battle it out for the lead there. Debe having to pit on the final lap. That is very unfortunate for Debe. Debe just pitting into the pit lane, so we will only have 10 drivers finish the race here. Every driver finishing will get points, which is very rewarding. Let's jump up here with Baran and Frantic battling it out there. Baran trying to block Frantic hard, getting through there into P4. Now Frantic's going to look around there. Is he going to be able to go through? Mumamek still in the mix as well. They're side by side coming through into the chicane section. Of course, no DRS. This is all about pace and skill. Who's going to be braver through? And now Mumamek is brave on the inside as well. It's a 3-way fight here going through. Baran up into P4, Frantic P5, Mumamek in P6. Who is going to come out on top of this battle for P4 as we go through? It looks like the front 3 have taken off. There's a big error there through the sausage curbs, and it looks like Baran, Frantic, Mumamek, P4, 5, 6. As we settle down for the final time here, who's going to come out through? Mumamek is trying to find the slipstream, isn't close enough, and you can see Frantic deploying the ERS here, trying to build a bit of a pace advantage. And ladies and gentlemen, as we come around the final corner here, Kier will come across with a 1:30.2, fastest lap of the Grand Prix on the final lap. Kushor, Velix, Alpine, a P2P, never mind. Velix dropping way back after penalties are applied. And that was a really quick finish. I didn't get to see who finished where. We'll have to talk about the results in just a second. Yeah. What a way to finish Split 2. Split 2.
Yeah, it's amazing race, amazing race. Do you have anything to add after the finish?
I just want to know who finished where.
KR first, Kushor second, Baran third, Franek P4, Velix P5, Muminek P6, Tipov P7, Juro P8, Myros P9, and Radoslav Kepa P10.
So, to quote my wonderful friend Debe, this game is such crap.
I believe this is in the soft version.
I am trying to make it stream appropriate, of course. The ACC stream, we pushed it a little bit yesterday, so we're trying to keep things slightly stream appropriate. But that, ladies and gentlemen, was just one of our 2 sessions here at Miami. And, of course, now we look Kier, Kushort, Baran, Franik, Velix, Bumamek, Topove, Jiro, Mardios, Radislav Kepa are our 10 drivers finishing. Debe Gamer, Maku, Pink, Bartosh, Insidious, Spaghetti Mafia, all DNFing out. So nearly half the grid DNFing out. Let's jump through and we'll scroll through. Lots of incidents, lots of track limits. It was that was a fun race. And of course, Debe here DNFing final lap. That's very sad. And of course, Syntax, in about 15 minutes, we get to do it all again. And it looks like Noda is going to be your winner of this Portuguese Grand Prix. Is your champion. JJ splits the middle, gets past both drivers.